What you are listening to now is the Central Indiana Sports Report podcast number 232.2, our recap and Elijah Poe's reaction to the first race of a doubleheader weekend at Iowa.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, IndyCar fans, and welcome to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Today is Saturday, July 12, 2025. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, podcasting today from headquarters in Jeffersonville. Producer Susie is by my side.
Hey there.
Coming up, we have your 10-minute recap, followed by Elijah Poe's reaction to the first race of a doubleheader weekend, Saturday evening in Newton, Iowa, the Suck Up 275. And we'll look ahead to Sunday afternoon's race as well. Quick turnaround for the drivers and teams. Elijah and I talk IndyCar every week, usually on Wednesday for now, in the IndyCar Report. We will have a solid day and time starting in August when the second season of the Central Indiana Sports Report gets underway. We also preview every race between qualifying and the race, and then recap and react to every race all season long. Your 10-minute or less recap begins now.
Has a look up the inside into one. O'Ward has it covered. Exit of two. It's now or never for Josef Newgarden to deny Pato O'Ward a historic win on the occasion of his 100th victory. His centenary run will be capped off with success. Pato O'Ward wins at Iowa.
Pato O'Ward won for the first time in 2025, passing Josef Newgarden with 39 laps left remaining on a superior pit stop that got him ahead of the Penske driver. It was O'Ward's 100th career IndyCar start and his second win at Iowa. He also won at Iowa on his 50th career start.
This is great. We've been waiting for this one all year. It's crazy. My 50th race was also a win here in Iowa, and that's the only other win I have here. So it's a cool story. Great job by my McLaren guys and gals. This Chevy powered machine was I think it's 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3 Chevy podium. So it was about time. I'm super happy. I'm the Chevy guy that gave them their first win this year, and Joseph's the master at these races. He rules around here. So I knew that we had to be spot on, and I had to be so precise on the in laps to beat him at his own game.
It is O'Ward's 8th career win, tying him for 46th on the all-time list. He's now tied with Alexander Rossi, Buddy Lazier, and legends Rex Mays and Eddie Sachs. With 39 laps remaining, a slight bobble on Newgarden's pit stop and a perfect stop by O'Ward's McLaren crew helped put their driver ahead of Newgarden, who had essentially led the entire race to that point. With 18 laps left, Nolan Siegel's crash brought out a red flag. It restarted with 15 laps remaining. Newgarden stayed on O'Ward's tail for the final 15 laps, but could not get by. Here's a terse Josef Newgarden with Fox's Jamie Little after the race.
O'Ward got track position there, and that was game over. Just simple as that. So, Stemo car was quick. Team Chevy did a great job. Finally getting a win for Team Chevy is a big deal, and they should have had way more on the year. So, good to finally get one.
It was the closest finish under green in the history of the IndyCar race at Iowa, 23 100ths of a second. And despite Newgarden coming up short, it was a much-needed great day for Team Penske. Will Power finished third and often looked like the best car in the field, and Scott McLaughlin moved from 27th, where he started after crashing in qualifying, to 4th. Early in the race, O'Ward moved from his 5th starting position up to 2nd after passing Scott Dixon and Alex Palou on consecutive laps 89 and 90, and what turned out to be the move of the race. With his win, O'Ward is now in 2nd in the championship hunt, passing Kyle Kirkwood, but still trailing Alex Palou by 105 points. Palou finished 5th Saturday for his 9th top 5 finish in 11 races this year.
I mean, we're in a great position for sure, but yeah, I mean, Pato has a good chance tomorrow to try and in less than 24 hours to win. So yeah, we need to try and step it up just a little bit tomorrow, try and fight a little bit harder and see if we can finish up front.
Kirkwood's championship hunt likely came to an end on lap 153 when he went into the turn 2 wall on the 7/8 of a quarter mile course, in the same spot that Jacob Abel crashed on lap 74. Kirkwood is now 139 points behind Palou. Dixon is 4th and Rosenqvist 5th in the standings through 11 races. Christian Rasmussen was 6th after one of the all-time great saves. Our Conor Daly finished 7th after a second-place start. On the Always Race Day YouTube channel, Conor Daly said that his handling went away at the end. He was still able to drive past Santino Ferrucci for 7th place at the end of the race. A couple days after Ferrucci said that he was a better oval driver than Daly is. Of course, the two had an on-track incident that got Ferrucci penalized at Mid-Ohio last week.
Completely locked up. I couldn't turn the wheel at all, so just had to change my grip entirely after that and just get a little creative with it without crashing. But yeah, that was really the only mistake that we had all day on track, and yeah, we definitely know what we can do to hopefully make that better tomorrow.
TV didn't show up, but how'd you get Ferrucci there at the end of the race to get 7th?
We were side by side for 10 laps in a row, so it was actually kind of a fun battle, honestly. But took the high lane and passed him, so it was a good battle, honestly.
No more updates on the situation there.
No, honestly, I expected him to drive me directly in the wall, but it was actually fairly respectable. So yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why Conor Daly is the official favorite driver of the Central Indiana Sports Report. That, and he's from Noblesville, and I was a fan of his dad years and years ago.
Aren't you supposed to be impartial?
Not really. Maybe a little, but not really. We love Conor Daly, and we are not ashamed of it. Some other results of note: Scott Dixon finished 10th. Graham Rahal had a nice day and finished 11th. He starts 10th on Sunday. For Sunday's 1 p.m. race, Alex Palou is on the pole with Felix Rosenqvist aside. David Malukas and Josef Newgarden are on the second row, followed by Nolan Siegel and Will Power in the third row. Conor Daly starts 7th next to Scott Dixon. O'Ward will start his bid for a weekend sweep on the inside of row 4. And that is your 10-minute or less recap of the first race of the weekend at Iowa. Please stay tuned for Elijah Poe and his recap of Iowa 1.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengel.
Welcome, IndyCar fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report and Elijah Poe's reaction to the first race of the weekend at Iowa in a doubleheader. And Elijah, we talked about on the preview, you were expecting a bad race, and we did not, in fact, get a bad race.
No, we did not. I had 260 laps, 260 passes on track. But, man, I think Fox did such a great job of showing runners like Scott McLaughlin, who climbed 23 spots, Christian Rasmussen coming through the field. You had a lot of really great storylines, and, start to finish, I thought this race was really interesting and entertaining.
It really was a lot of drama. Had Penske really needing that win, and Newgarden completely dominating the race. I think he probably essentially led the first, 250 laps, something like that.
It was definitely Josef Newgarden's day today until it wasn't. Just missed off on that last pit stop sequence, and Pato was able to get ahead of him, and, it was a little bit challenging to pass, but Newgarden was racing him so aggressively. It was a really good showing from both of them.
It really was, and it was a great day for Penske, as they needed.
Yes, they did. Seeing Scott McLaughlin climb back from 27th, he had a crash today in qualifying. Seeing him absolutely torch up the field. moving up 23 spots around a track that is difficult to pass as it is. Seeing him do that is just incredible. Team Penske in second, third, and fourth, that's just about as good as days you can get in IndyCar.
And first win of the year for Pato O'Ward, a guy that is usually talked about in the same breath with Alex Palou. He probably had to be a little frustrated that Palou had all those wins and he had none. So big day for Pato too.
It is. He's had really great moments throughout this season in 2025.
Absolutely.
And it was kind of just expecting, when is Pato going to be in victory lane? Because he was definitely trending up towards that end. Getting Newgarden on that pit sequence was very important, but he showed absolutely great defending skills on keeping Newgarden back because Newgarden was really pushing him, and Pato was able to keep him at bay and got a 20-point jump on Alex Palou by winning the race today. So it's a good result for McLaren and Pato for sure.
First of all, Will Power was third. Scott McLaughlin was fourth. Alex Palou was fifth. This thing's over. Are we still talking championship points, Elijah? But everybody else needed Alex Palou to finish at the back of the pack. Instead, it was Kyle Kirkwood who finished at the back of the pack. This thing's over.
The fan in me just hopes for a close race. The optimist in me just wants to see something happen in that last race in Nashville. But with Alex Palou starting in first place tomorrow, I wouldn't be too surprised if he won that one.
Wouldn't be surprised either. And we need to talk about Will Power and Scott McLaughlin. Second, third, and fourth for Penske Racing. Big day for Penske. And I really thought, though, that Power was going to have something for Josef and Pato at the end there, and he didn't seem to. Really surprised me. I thought going into that final restart, he might have the best car, and I was surprised that he didn't.
Yeah, he was looking very rapid about midway through that race. He was making some really aggressive moves and was really speedy around Iowa. He finished just about a second off of them, just wasn't able to kind of catch up during the restart. I thought that might have hurt him getting into some of that dirtier air behind Pato and Newgarden. But second, third, and fourth for Team Penske at this point in the season is huge. You have 6 races left. If there's any momentum that you're able to squeeze out to close out 2025 and maybe ride that into 2026.
And we've been basically shit-talking Penske all year. And the job that they did getting McLaughlin's car from the back of the pack to fourth place after having to go to a backup, just phenomenal day for that crew.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine the stress they were under today trying to get that car fixed back together in the short, I think, 4-hour, 3.5-hour time frame they had. But to not only do that and have him move up 23 spots is just absolutely huge, and could not have a better day for Scott McLaughlin, especially when he is needing some good days in 2025.
And like I said, it sounds cliche, but for Penske Racing, they need to just approach this one day at a time. Every day's a new championship, right?
Yeah, they do. And if they do that, I mean, I'd be interested to see where they end up tomorrow, and hopefully maybe we can see them challenge the Ganassi cars on road and street circuits to close out the season. That would be an interesting aspect to see Team Penske turn things around when it felt like they were the lowest they could possibly get.
Yeah, last week I was saying they were the worst team in IndyCar, so they shut me up today. Also, Christian Rasmussen, not only did he finish in 6th place for Ed Carpenter Racing, but maybe the biggest save we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely crazy. He was Tokyo Drift sideways.
Yes, he was.
It was absolutely unreal. And I feel like he has these moments on ovals every time IndyCar is at an oval because he is so aggressive and he will do things that other drivers just will not try to attempt. And he was absolutely rapid today, moving up 13 spots from 19th and to finish in 6th.
That's because Danes are super cool, just so you know.
It was a good day for him. Good day for Christian.
And our guy Conor Daly was 7th. I would say probably a disappointing finish for him.
Yeah, I think it is as well. Starting in 2nd, had a couple slower pit stops, and ever since he got passed by Palou, and then it was kind of just a chain reaction. He couldn't really climb up that ladder. But regardless, 7th is a great finishing spot for the Suncoast Hollinger team, and yes. I know he's qualified up there well tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's in another top 10 situation on Sunday.
And nice charge for Santino Ferrucci, who apparently isn't better than Conor Daly on ovals, but was really close.
Yeah, just 0.3 behind Conor Daly. Supposedly Both of them were talking at the grid today. They met up and kind of squashed their beef. Had a nice conversation and a handshake at the end. So it looks like the rivalry is definitely still on, but the beef seems to be squashed right now.
I think they're both guys who are generally typically affable guys who also can get a little prickly.
Yeah, just hard-nosed for sure, and they're going to race you hard-nosed as well.
And nice finish, Graham Rahal in 11th.
Yeah, impressive to see Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan almost have a top 10. Rahal, that's a good drive for Graham, and seeing Louis Foster in 14th as well. That's not a bad day for them at all. And they were honestly pretty competitive in some moments, making some passes. It was a good day for them for sure, and they need any good day they can get.
A couple of guys I want to talk about here in the back of the field. First of all, we mentioned Kirkwood. His championship hunt is over. He's had a great race, but that probably ended that. Nice run, Rinus VeeKay, after his problems yesterday. And then Felix Rosenqvist. I have a feeling that he's going to have a bounce back tomorrow.
I'm not sure what really happened for Felix. He was kind of just sinking like a stone there.
Yeah.
Obviously, he started off well, and after that leading up to the first pit cycle, I think he was in the top 5 just behind Palou. And after that cycle, he just got lost in the pack and started falling down. I'd be interested to see if he had a problem finishing down in 17th from 3rd. Yeah, because he's usually pretty quick around these ovals. But seeing him fall down 14 spots, that's interesting. It's definitely going to be something to watch tomorrow as he goes into Sunday's race.
And the two guys we keep lumping together, the young drivers who have proven nothing on great teams. Kiffin Simpson was not in this even a little bit. That's a bad result. And Nolan Siegel was right up there, racy with the leaders, and then it was over for him.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about these rookies. I guess I give them a little bit of credit just because, IndyCar on a short oval, it is largely an experience factor, usually, most of the time. And I think that definitely showed today. Just really not there with the pace. And in a short oval, when you're dealing with lap traffic and you've got cars behind you, having that experience is really useful. And I think that showed today for those two young drivers. And talking about Kirkwood as well, having that silly mistake, it's just really, really bad for him. And he needed a result. And like you said, it really does feel like his championship hunt. As small as it was, I think you can officially stamp that as over. Just can't be not finishing in a championship hunt, especially when you're in one with Alex Palou.
Yeah, especially just really bad day for Andretti.
Yeah, they've had some honestly, it's self-errors because you have Colton Herta just completely spinning himself on that first lap, just a mistake. And he didn't have a horrible drive, was able to recover it to 13th, but those self-inflicted wounds for Andretti continue to show up throughout the season.
And Alex Palou, Felix Rosenqvist on the pole for Sunday's, 1 o'clock race with Malukas and Newgarden in row 2. The other Penske's, of course, Will Power is 6th, and McLaughlin's going to have to come from the back again.
Yeah, I think this looks like a really, really entertaining, really first 6 drivers. And just the people in that first couple rows are really, really fast on these ovals. And to see them kind of, start their race, to see what type of race this is going to be, I think it's going to be very entertaining. And you have this race today, which kind of added even more grip to that second row. So maybe we can even see some more passing tomorrow.
And, of course, Pato O'Ward will start 9th. Graham Rahal, 10th. Really good qualifying performance for him. And, again, just a really bad performance for Andretti on qualifying even.
Yeah, they've just not had the pace sometimes at some courses and some ovals. Other weekends are really, really strong. We know they're strong on the street courses.
And they're always great at Indy.
Yeah. But other than that, they've been really quiet this season. And other than Kyle Kirkwood, I can't see Colton Herta or Marcus Ericsson getting a win this season. Unless it's an interesting event that plays out. But they just have lacked the pace.
Thanks to Elijah for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report, and thank you for listening. Please do us a huge favor and share the Central Indiana Sports Report with your IndyCar friends and family. You can even share it with some strangers, your mortal enemies if you want. We would really appreciate it. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITT Media. And I love Susie.